Hello partners, my name is Renchiptajlanda and welcome back to Best Partner Education channel. Now, before we start the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed, and don't forget to click on that thumbs up button and also click on the subscription bell for more information about Best Partner Education. Okay, now let's go to the video. Now, today guys, we're going to discuss about section 3 in listening, because in the previous video we have discussed about section 1 and section 2. In section 1 and section 2, I told you before that there are 4 steps that you have to follow in every way so that it could be helpful for you when you want to do your listening test or listening simulation, particularly in Ielts. Okay, now let's do some recaps about the 4 steps that I mentioned before. First, you have to read the instruction. Read the instruction carefully and you guys will be okay. And also it is going to be easier for you on what you should do for each of the questions specifically given in the IELTS. Second, you need to understand the topic. How to understand the topic? Simply see the headings located on top of each questions, or perhaps listen from the audio itself, because they usually mention the topics. And I think to some extent it's easier to just listen to the audio, because they give you the overview over what they're going to talk about. So, but if you're missing that out, don't worry, because you can see the topic on top of each question. Okay. Now, right, and the last one is, and then the third steps is that you have to try to predict the answers based on the information or clues that you can see within the question booklet there, or question papers, because all the clues you can find it there, and mostly you can try to pinpoint on what you have to listen, and then on what kind of information that you're going to expect from the audio. So if you if you for example say that this is a multiple choices, then first thing first, you need to understand the questions given, and then after that you have to see the options. You can choose the answer based on the logical reasoning, or just perhaps by simply listening to the audio. But to some extent, some of the questions you may answer it logically, and also it depends on the type of the question. Sometimes if the question is asking about the logical reasoning or logical type of questions, then you may answer it without even listening to the audio. But however, I also recommend that you also have to keep on listening to the audio, because it's going to help you on trying to make sure that your answer will be correct. Okay, now let's do section 3 here. Today we're going to focus with section 3, guys. And in section 3 here, before we start as well, I would like to mention that in section 3 you're going to listen to a dialogue. Okay, a dialogue, because before in section 2 particularly, you're listening to a monologue about somebody is talking about a particular topic. In section 3 you're going to listen to dialogue again, but this time it's going to be more academic related. So the type of audio or perhaps the situation within the audio that you're going to listen might be related with 2 students talking about research, or perhaps maybe a student asking an advice from the lecturer or professor on some sort of conversation, something like that. Okay, so you need to be aware with that one, meaning that all the vocabulary that will be coming out will be mostly related with the academic world or academic level to some extent. Okay. Now, first thing first, guys, before we start, digging within this type of questions, particularly in section 3. First of all, as you can see here on the screen, guys, this is section 3, and it is from the same sources as well, from Cambridge IELTS 13 here. As you can, Cambridge IELTS 14 here, and as you can see, in this section 3 here. The first part of the section 3 here is multiple choice, but we're going to skip on that one, and we're going to focus with number 26 to 30, which is it's kind of like a type of matching answers here. Okay, but first thing first, okay, we need to see the instruction. What is the instruction mentioned? Okay, we're going to focus with 26 and 30 because 21 and 25 before is a multiple choice. 26 and 30 here, as you can see, you need to match the answer. As mentioned in here, choose 5 answers from the box and write the correct letter A to G next to questions 26 to 30. So again, because this is a new one, I might have a new solution or suggestion for you guys before you do this. First of all, you need to count how many questions are there in here. There are 5 questions in here. Meanwhile, the option here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 options here, meaning that 2 of them are just a distractors and 5 of them are real. I need to remind you guys that in this kind of questions, if you made 1 mistake, it's possible that you will make 2 or even 3 or even 4, because if you jumble one answers to another, definitely you're going to have 2 wrong answers. So you need to be really careful on how you decide the answer here, okay? Now, that's for the instruction there, guys. And what about the topic? The topic in here is cities built by the sea. Okay, it's something related with architecture, or perhaps something related with new type of building, you know, in the sea and something like that. So if you can understand the topic there, your head or your head and also your brain will also prepare for that one, psychologically speaking, because you will know what to expect. And then you will also a little bit trying to figure out what they're going to talk about. If you know what they're going to talk about, it's going to be easier for you to comprehend. Okay, but if you do not see the topic first, or perhaps you just skip on the headings there and then you just go straight with the questions, then believe it or not, it's going to not helping you a lot in terms of answering the questions. Okay, all right. Now on this 26 and 30, as you can see as well, here are the clues here, or the questions here. So what they're going to talk about in 26 and 30 is perhaps the presentation parts that the students or the lecturer might give during the class or so. So in here, let's see on number 26 here, it's historical background, 27 is geographical factors, 28 past mistakes, 29 future risk, 30 is international implications. Now, again, the clues are there. All you have to do is try to figure out what would be the best answer for this one. Okay, consider a historical background first in 26. And 26 here, historical background. Say, if you are a student, right? If you are a student, what would be the best one for this one? What would be the best thing that you should put in your presentation if you talk about the historical background? Is it use visuals? Is it keep it short, involve other students, check the information is accurate, and the others there? So you need to figure out which one is the most logical one. Okay? Luckily enough, in Ielts, you may make a notes on the question sheets there. So you can put your notes there, and then you could just simply put a random letter there, and maybe it's because it's your best guess for that, so it's fine. So use that really well within your process of answering the questions. Okay. Now the historical background here, what would be it? Is it keep it short, or involve the student, or check the information is accurate, or provide a handout, focus on one example, do online research? So if you're a student, then try to pick the best one for this one. Okay. Now in number 27, the geographical factors here, what would be it? Is it check the information is accurate, involve other students, or yeah? So what would be the best one for this one? And then also in number 28 and 29, future risk, 30, international implication. Now, if my guess is correct, then I might have something to write about. So particularly in historical background. So because it's historical background, so I assume that the answer would probably, let's say, keep it short. Because again, logically speaking, right? Because it's historical background, so just try to keep it short. Just try to keep it simple, rather than telling the whole story of the history. Is going to be one boring presentation, I would say. So in my opinion, it might be keep it short, but maybe I can be wrong. So that's why we need to listen to the audio later on. Okay. Now, geographical factors, let's say, because it's geographical, right? And I'm sure that it's easier to do it just by using visuals, because again, it's related with geographical. So I might say that using visual would definitely going to give, you know, a very simple understanding to the audience. And then, what about past mistakes? Past mistakes, because it's past mistakes and it must be correct. So I might say we should just check the information. Check the information, right? So check the information is accurate. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh yeah, I also forgot to tell you guys that, okay, because this is you know, because the instruction mentioned, but you have to choose the letter, then you have to put the answer like this instead of writing like I am. Okay, so it's a wrong example, by the way. So that's why you need so that's why I need to change it into just simply using the letters, because it's simple and also it's not going to waste your time for the other questions. Okay, so please do that. Oops. Okay, and this one is D. Yep. All right, so that will be my answer, my best guess, we'll say. Yeah, so future risk. So future risk, what about that? What would be the best one for this one, future risk? Yeah? Well, for me myself, I might say that I should just say focus on one example, because I think it's because, you know, focusing too much on many problems for the future, there are abundance of them. So it might be better to just keep it into one particular example, so that the discussion with the audience would be directed really well. International implication, I might say involve the other students, because, you know, because it is talking about the implication, the possible thing that might be happening. So I guess it's much better to just involve other students, so to hear what their thoughts about the particular topics, or what they learn, you know, what they learned before about the topic itself. Okay, so that would be my best guess. Okay, now I will play the audio for you guys, and let's see whether my answer is correct or not, and we're going to discuss about that more. Okay, now try to practice as well at home, and I hope that you can see on the screen here, because it's pretty much clear. So I hope that you can do the practice, and hopefully you got all the answers correct. And if you get all the answers correct, and if you get, let's say I got something wrong, then yeah, that's good. That means that you have improved really well then. All right, so now I will play the audio. I also want to listen to the audio as well. Okay. Alright, now listen carefully, because again, remember, this is going to be just a one-time play.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30.
Okay, you have some time to check it again.
Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
So, I think we've probably got enough for our presentation. It's only 15 minutes.
Okay, so I suppose we'll begin with some general historical background about why coastal cities were established. But we don't want to spend too long on that. The other students will already know a bit about it. It's all to do with communications and so on.
Yes. We should mention some geographical factors, things like wetlands and river estuaries and coastal erosion and so on. We could have some maps of different cities with these features marked.
On a handout, you mean? Or some slides everyone can see?
Yeah, that'd be better.
It'd be good to go into past mistakes in a bit more detail. Did you read that case study of the problems there were in New Orleans with flooding a few years ago?
Yes. We could use that as the basis for that part of the talk. I don't think the other students will have read it, but they'll remember hearing about the flooding at the time.
Okay. So that's probably enough background.
So then we'll go on to talk about what action's been taken to deal with the problems of coastal cities.
Okay. What else do we need to talk about? Maybe something on future risks, looking more at the long term if populations continue to grow?
Yeah, we'll need to do a bit of work there. I haven't got much information, have you?
No, we'll need to look at some websites. Shouldn't take too long.
Okay. And I think we should end by talking about international implications. Maybe we could ask people in the audience. We've got people from quite a lot of different places.
That'd be interesting, if we have time, yes. So, now, should we go?
All right. So that would be the audio for number 26 to 30. Okay, can you answer it well? Or maybe you think that my answer is correct or not. So we're going to discuss about it. Okay, guys? Now let's back on the video.
To abide by.
And answer questions 26 to 30.
Okay, here we go again. Now let's say on number 26 here, historical background. So my answer is B, keep it short. So let's see whether I'm correct or not.
So, I think we've probably got enough for our presentation. It's only 15 minutes.
Okay, so I suppose we'll begin with some general historical background about why coastal cities were established. But we don't want to spend too long on that. The other students will already know a bit about it.
We don't want to spend too long about that because the students might know about it. So with that being said then, there is no mention about keep it short or anything in that audio. However, remember in the previous video that I mentioned before, everything is kind of like being synonymized or perhaps being, let's say, paraphrased. So with that being said then, the answer is B, keep it short, because the man said that, you know, because the other student know a little bit about the background, historical background, so don't take it too long. So B would be the best answer for that.
It's all to do with communications and so on.
Yes. We should mention some geographical factors, things like wetlands and river estuaries and coastal erosion and so on. We could have some maps of different cities with these features marked.
On a handout, you mean? Or some slides everyone can see?
Yeah, that'd be better.
It'd be good to go into past mistakes in a bit more.
Okay. In the geographical factors, guys, the students mentioned about, okay, we should use maps to help the students understand about it. So the use of maps here is kind of like, because it's maps, right? Something that you can see, so it's possibly use visuals, right? So, but there is a mention about a handout. So which one is the best one? Okay, so my best guess would be it should be geographical factor. The answer for geographical factor, it should be A, visual, because the man said that. Oh, is it the man or the women? Sorry.
Handout, you mean? Or some slides everyone can see?
Yeah, that'd be better. And coastal erosion and so on. We could have some maps of different...
Okay, we could use some maps. So the woman, not the man, sorry. The women said that we could use some maps to help the student understand. So meaning that because it's a visuals, so maps is a visual thing, so the best answer for this one is A, use visuals. However, they mentioned about the handout. Remember, the handout there is probably the distractor as well. Okay, now let's see for number 28.
Cities with these features marked.
On a handout, you mean? Or some slides everyone can see?
Yeah, that'd be better.
It'd be good to go into past mistakes in a bit more detail. Did you read that case study of the problems there were in New Orleans with flooding a few years ago?
Yes, we could use that as the basis for that part of the talk. I don't think the other students will have read it, but they'll remember hearing about the flooding at the time.
Okay. So that...
Okay, so the past mistake here I mentioned, check the information correct or not. And they mention...
Case study of the problems there were in New Orleans with...
A case study. So in there, they mention about one particular example there. So in this case, my prediction over the answer D is actually wrong. It's not check the information is correct, but it's just focus on one example. So it should be F, not D. Okay, because again, the man mentioned about one particular example there about the case study. So that's the point of what they're talking about, and then the past mistake is just basically focus on one example about over their talk in that discussion. Okay, so meaning that I make two mistakes already, right? made two mistakes, particularly in past mistake and future risk, because in future risk I answer F, but again, because I answer past mistakes is because I answer past mistake F and future risk also F, so I got two mistakes there. So you need to be really careful before you're choosing on that, before you choose the answers. Okay. All right. Now let's see what in store for number 29.
A few years ago.
Yes, we could use that as the basis for that part of the talk. I don't think the other students will have read it, but they'll remember hearing about the flooding at the time.
Okay. So that's probably enough background.
So then we'll go on to talk about what action's being taken to deal with the problems of coastal cities.
Okay. What else do we need to talk about? Maybe something on future risks, looking more at the long term if populations continue to grow?
Yeah, we'll need to do a bit of work there. I haven't got much information, have you?
No, we'll need to look at some websites. Shouldn't take...
That's the key. We need to look over in the website. Website here has a similar meaning with G, do online research, because they haven't done any research about that, and the man suggests they need to check on with some of that websites there. Okay, so it means that the answer is G, do online research. Okay, all right. Now the last one, guys.
Too long.
Okay. And I think we should end by talking about international implications. Maybe we could ask people in the audience.
And that's the answer. Maybe we can ask the people in the audience. That's what the women said. And then the man said,
we've got people from quite a lot of different places.
That'd be interesting if we...
That would be interesting.
Time, yes.
If we have time, and yes. So means that the men agree with the women. So means that the answer is C. Involve other students, guys. Okay. Now, guys, can you answer all of it correctly? Then I'm sure that if you answer it correctly, it means that you actually follow the steps. Okay. However, I have to say that based on my answers before, I made two mistakes there in number 28, 29, but it's not that bad. And also in 26, 27, and 30, I got the answer based on my logical thinking and also trying to figure out the best answer before the audio even played. Now, I try to always recommend you guys to follow the 4 steps because it's going to really help you in trying to visualize and also trying to select the best answer based on the logical reasoning here. So you can also use that one. The idea of when they said that, okay, we will give you some time to check on number 26 to 30. So it has a hidden meaning there. The hidden meaning there is that it's the Ielts itself giving you an opportunity to try to check on the possible answers based on the clues, scattered here in the question sheets here. So use that really well. Do not ever try to skip on that one and just trying to jumble your analysis over the question. So don't do that. You need to stay calm. You need to read it carefully and always remember the 4 steps, and you'll be fine. Okay. Now, before we end it, I hope that you can answer it all well. If not, then you can repeat the video and then try to redo the test again to get the best one. Okay. And if you think that my explanation is not clear enough, then don't forget to you can ask me directly. You can ask me directly, and by simply putting a comment in the comment section below, and or you could also just check on my my Instagram and also Facebook account, and you can chat me through there, and you can have like an online private chat regarding to IELTS preparation or the other things related with international English exams. Okay, now. Would like to remind you again the 4 steps. Remember the 4 steps again, guys. First is read the instruction carefully. Okay. Second, understand the topic. Listen to the topic from the audio as well to have a clear mindset over what you're going to expect from the audio. The third steps would be to try on searching for the clues, for the crumbs inside the question sheet, and also try to figure out the best answer by predicting the answer based on your logical reasoning, or also seeing the clues scattered inside the question sheet itself. And finally, the 4th one is to focus. Remember, in order for you to be focused on step number 4, you need to do steps 2 and steps 3. Okay. Right, so that will be the end of our video today. Thank you so much for seeing us here, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and visit our main office in Pontianak to get more information and to get a one-on-one talk about your IELTS preparation and also about your study in Besmari Education. Okay, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. In the next video, we're going to talk about section 4. Okay, all right. Bye bye guys, and see you in the next video.